the stream starts. All right. It's another Sunday, another stream. I was a little worried I was going to have to cancel today because I had another weird night where I just couldn't sleep last night. I went to bed, dozed off immediately, woke up about an hour later. Sound is good, awesome. Carney, what? I just saw that. I just shared a story on Instagram. There's this guy I'm following who does pretty strong political analysis, and he was just talking about Carney's background as a backup goalie and everything at Harvard. So I'm pretty excited. Because it's completely reduced the threat of the Conservatives winning. And I hate to be an alarmist, but the Conservatives that are running now are not the Conservatives that we grew up with in Canada. Poilievre is a monster, probably smarter than Trump, and of the same low ethical character. So, so Carney coming in, Liberals having a 4% lead, I believe, at this point. I'll take it. Even though, I know politically Carney's probably to the right of me. Anything that helps make Canada healthier and safer from Trump and is continually threatening our sovereignty. Oh my God, I'm tempted to go on a rant. Probably because I rewatched the We Are Canadian video just before coming online. It just gets the energy up. Someone's going to have to talk to Trump. If he keeps threatening Canadian sovereignty, some Canadian's going to take that motherfucker out. It's not a speculation thing either. He's threatening us every time he opens his fucking stupid little cunt of a mouth. Sorry for the language. Every time he opens that tiny little dripping things that belongs to one of the spice merchants from Dune as a mouth, guild navigators. Remembering the David Lynch version, he's threatening us. He's talking about how he's going to, turn us to 51st state. We don't want to be the 51st state. If we wanted that, it would have happened decades ago. We don't want that. We like our political system. We prefer our politicians generally. We like our healthcare system. We'd like Conservatives to stop fucking with it. We pay our taxes. We have good services. We're a cleaner, safer nation. Why would we want to become American and take all that damage onto ourselves? So, the whole NAFTA thing. The fact that he's running around talking about how shitty a deal America has right now, and it's the deal that he made. Oh, I hate this man. I hate this man with so much. I hated him before because I knew people who worked with him, and he was always ripping people off. So I just always saw him as a criminal. So you'd see him in a cameo in some movie, you go, oh, fuck, right? And now he's even worse. So, because he's completely unfettered. Anyway, so, all right, this week's book, only one book this week. Helen of Windhorn. I love Bilquis. This artist's work. Bilquis, I think it's Bilquis Evely. I could be wrong. I usually like Tom King. I love her work. I thought I ordered her Superwoman or Supergirl book. I tried to find it. I couldn't find it. Her stuff is just amazing. Look at this borderline P. Craig Russell level inking here. And I say that, from the position of respect that Craig Russell is one of the best inkers that have ever worked in comics. Matt Lopez's colors are just great. The painting stuff is it feels off, a little too soft. It's so stylistically different from the pen and ink, it just feels mushy next to the really nice hard lines. So if it was more robust, say oil paintings or something, and looked more like fantasy pulp books than this. So I'm about halfway through, and I'm hoping it improves. Right now, if I really enjoy a book, let me put this back here. If I'm really enjoying a book, I go through it in a day or two, especially a graphic novel. I've been struggling with this for about a week, reading it off and on. It's really pretty to look at, but as of halfway through the book, the lead character being a teenage drunkard with no goals in life, and her grandfather being a distant Conan stand-in or John Carter of Mars type guy hasn't connected yet. I like the idea, but her character just hasn't come together yet. So I'm hoping Tom King pulls it out by the end of the book. If you guys want, I'll give you a more detailed review. So far, I mean, like the life drawing Hernandez book I got last week is just brilliant. I just burned right through it. And this book, as pretty as it is, and the alt covers are actually gorgeous. I mean, they should have. This would have been better for the feel that they're trying to get than the that weird painted pulp thing they had in here. Yeah. So if they actually, got Greg Smallwood to do paintings for the pulps, I know that would have taken stuff out of Ilkis's hands, but I mean that Massimo would have done a good job too. Not so much Tula Lote. Again, her stuff's so modern it wouldn't feel like a pulp thing. So yeah, I'm indifferent to it so far. It might pull it out at the end. It's really, really pretty. If you just want a pretty comic book, it's really well put together. The design's really nice. Lots of nice design touches from Dark Horse or Bilkis, whoever did the design work. Double check. I should be able to give him credit. Cover and chapter breaks by Bilkis Evans, Matthew Lopez. Probably designers listed on this page. Hannah Noble. All right, so Hannah Noble did an amazing job on designing this book. So it is a beautiful book. It's just so far halfway through, it's kind of disappointing. But that's not necessarily the status of the book at the end. Yeah. Good point there, Hasn't. And on top of that, she is so it's so weird that if I'm making, I better get the camera where I'm making. All right, so I was going to leave the entire page to start inking this week, but then I realized I didn't have a thumbnail for my my YouTube header. So I figured I'll just take this panel. And then yesterday I kind of, I need a warm up. And then I started inking this and just get a better feel for how I was going to ink this. The tears are a new addition. Like the idea of a crying monster. And then this, I went, oh shit, I better stop. So I have work to do on stream tomorrow. So it's that rocky bottom of that valley that this Viking went into last week. Should I show that? Do I have the page handy? No, I think I filed it over. Here it is. There it is. Okay, I thought I'd put it with the stack of other we bring only best stuff. So this is the previous page I was working on. There's the creature. I'm probably going to go in and like change the shape of his head. It's a little too squat there. It's also kind of thick. Getting him emerging from the shadow, so he's not as obviously he's there. Everyone sees him, but because of those eyes. I didn't do his mouth here either. Here we go. All right, cool. We'll touch up on that. Back to this. Yeah, I kind of figured. I don't know if I'm going to draw the third page of the sequence for you guys on stream because I next week I want to do Dancers at the End of Time because I'm almost done the book. If I don't come up with a good idea by next week, then I'll probably do another breaking page. But the white tips of his fingers, the white in his mouth and his eyes will actually extrude from his body when he attacks the Viking. So his fingertips will actually turn into like tentacles, as will his eyeballs and his mouth. He's more like a slug covered in fur than anything else. So I just kind of come up with like really, really, really fucked up monsters, man. Thanks so much, Jay. Oh, God, I'm not wearing my glasses. Why am I not wearing my glasses? I'm making Dragon. All right, thank you. Yeah, I figured that since it's a demon, that the rules of what normal people go through don't necessarily apply. So I can do weird shit like just give them leaking white eyes. Yeah, I'm working on this here. I mean, rocks are kind of boring to draw, but they got to be drawn. Otherwise, there's no rocks. I always wonder how people like George Perez were able to like just keep drawing rocks. I mean, if you were a George Perez fan growing up, you drew so many like what do you call it? Patented Perez debris, I think is what he called it. But it was like Perez rocks, which used to be a thing. It's like my friends and I would read it, and then whenever there'd be a sequence where Perez would be drawing rubble or ruin, we just speak out loud, just yeah, Perez rocks, man. Stupid, I know, kids. Thing I like about these Rotring tiki markers over my Oto liquid ink ballpoint is there's a little bit more flex in the felt tip. So when I do the rapid scritchy scratch cross hatching here with the Rotring, I get a bit of a flex in the line. So it feels a little bit more organic. So when I'm doing kind of mechanical rendering like I am doing here, it just feels a little bit more organic when I use the marker instead of the pen. So it's still subtle enough for him coming out, emerging. So when he comes out here, you see his full physicality, kind of go, oh shit, he's big. Really big. Not sure why I did his hand like getting cut off like that. Just to remind people he's walking between rocks, I guess. Sometimes you do things in the storytelling or layout of a book you don't think about. And I know a lot of people automatically saying, well, that's bad. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes that spontaneity, that odd decision you make because you're thinking about something else while you're working, sometimes that's exactly what a project needs. So, plus I got enough time. If I need to change anything, monster design or anything, I come up with a better idea, I can go back in and touch this up before I color it. Oh, so in follow up to the potential of these tariffs screwing over my plans for this year, I had a quick email exchange with the fine people from Zoop. Yeah, that's it. I figured I'm basing the basic demon shape for all the creatures on this island, vaguely an orangutan, but they're all going to be different. They're none of them are going to be the same. They're all going to have like different capabilities. They're going to kill Vikings in different ways, which I'm hoping will be entertaining. That's a little busy. I'm probably use some white paint there to clean that up a bit later. Yeah, I'll probably white paint that out and do something different. Just leave that shadow there. Yeah. Tend to use these Unipen fine points to get a, because this is on vellum paper, I can get almost a dry brush effect with this marker. Well, most markers, honestly. You can see in here where there's a lot of white showing through. Yeah, let me move this down a bit. You can see some white showing through here. And back to what I'm going to do. My post-it notes, here we go. Some chunky lines in there. Yeah, it was one of the thoughts where it's like, I just like drawing that orangutan shape. And I thought that's a nice cohesive design call for the demons when they first show up, when you first see them. And then now you're expecting they're going to do something different, which is, I think, a nice, I mean, we're talking about entertainment. I mean, trying to create art, like a decent story with decent characters and everything. Excuse me. But you got to make it engaging. You got to make it entertaining. You got to make it so the reader is excited to turn that page. So thus my monsters are all different. I always buy these white gel pens, and they always work when I first get them, but I don't know what it is, but usually after like maybe a month or two, they just stop. They just like all the ink just chokes up inside them, and it doesn't come out no matter what you do. It sucks. I'll go over that and clean that up a bit later with some ink. We are. All right, and then the last panel. Here you can see, I was kind of happy last week when I finished the monster. It felt like he looked like he was rushing, but he didn't feel big enough. And I really didn't feel that the rock felt like it was being thrown at him at the way it should be with the velocity. See if I'll find one of my French curves. Start from there. I'm a little short there. Witches are immune to cold in Coven. The weather doesn't affect them. They make a deal with Mother Nature, essentially. Anything natural can't hurt them. There's a whole pile of world building in Coven that covers with just that stuff. The Coven 2 Tales from the Witch House. Oh, I should also. So I talked to Zoop. Um, they use a Korean printer, so there's no tariffs there. But my real concern is how much damage is being done to the American economy right now. So many Americans are now without the supports that they're used to having from the government. So many of them are getting laid off. I'm actually worried if there will be anyone's economic ability to actually support a crowdfunded project, um, which is leaving me even more convinced that what I have to do is something a little different. I still going to keep working on them. They're still going to come out, but what I might need to do is put them off for a year, like have them all come out 2026, which is pissing me off to no end, of course. But in the interim, do a new version of my sketchbook. I think most of you guys have seen my sketchbook. It's called Idle Hands. It's just like I think it's a 64-page book. It was my very first con sketchbook, and I only printed like I think 150, and they're gone. And I haven't gone to cons since COVID started. So that kind of tells you um, that's probably time for a new one. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it Idle Hand. It's still going to be volume 1, but now they're going to be oversized books. So Idle Hands will contain everything that's in Idle Hands 1, because this will be the new Idle Hands 1. So people won't have to go track that book out. And the benefit of that is, I got to say that absolutely honestly, my big worry is trying to do a crowdfunder for We Bring Only Death or Tales from the Witch House, and they flop. They just don't get enough support to actually happen. I don't know if I'd want to try again later. I really don't. I've seen people relaunch campaigns and succeed. I've seen them do it and fail terribly. Part of me is thinking that with a sketchbook, since all the art for the sketchbook, apart from the cover, is done, it's not a huge amount of work. So if it doesn't happen, if it doesn't succeed, I'm not entirely screwed, if that makes sense. Oh, you know what? I'm actually inking the back leg as a foreground leg. Oops. That's okay. I can still. Yeah, so I'm going to keep working on this. I'm still going to keep promoting it. Probably going to start posting more of We Bring Only Death on Patreon. So Patreon supporters will already see that. Yeah. That's I'm so. I mean, I'm pissed at Americans because they fucking elected Trump again. But I'm scared for Americans because I mean I grew up here. I am Canadian. I grew up here loving Americans my entire life. They've always been. I had so many friends with Americans. Trying to get the idea of speed lines as his fur as he races towards. Yeah, so that's my concerns around Zoop. I think anything I print through them will be fine ultimately, but I am worried about failures of the campaign because those can be devastating, and I'd hate to put all this work in on both these projects and then basically find out, yeah, there's no audience for it in this economy. So I think I know there's a market for my art because it's sold once already. Oh wow, look at that! I got paint all over my French curve. But I don't think anyone's going to begrudge me being a little cautious around that. It's a fucking dangerous time. I think. Thanks so much. It's I'm always very cautious around them, so I literally I drew about 5 or 6 versions of this on scrap paper to decide which one was working for me. So initially, I had more of a manga type speedline thing, which wasn't working, to be honest. Haven't pulled this up for a while. It's my Pentel pocket brush with real sable bristles. It's great. It's my favorite. Gotta put this in the mirror to see like if that reads well. The legs are a little messed up, but some white paint and some erasing the pencil lines help. You know what? Maybe that's got to come down more like that. And then what I'll do, where's my really good, there it is. Really good white paint. So if the arm's coming down from there, God, I've changed this anatomy so many times. What else do I want to do? Okay, make his back bigger there. Some of that head. kind of messed up. I'm trying to get across the idea that his body flexes without, drawing his body flexing too much initially. There we go. That actually reads a little bit better now. Still an awkward pose, but I have to deliver the two ideas at once. And I didn't want to change the layout after I got this stuff sorted out. So that's what I'm running with. I got to say, it's like Craig Russell, master. Big fan. I don't need that there anymore. Well, I'm actually motoring along pretty good here. I might actually finish this page by 8:30. That doesn't happen very often. Give that boar spear some structure. I figured Viking traveling as a boar spear would be kind of cool. Can't forget the bandage on his leg there. Oh, I didn't watch any new movies this week, but I wanted to have for some reason I started thinking about The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent with Nick Cage and Pedro Pascal, which also made me think of Paddington 2. So I was going to watch both, but I ended up only watching Paddington 2. Such a beautiful movie. I've watched it, I don't know, half a dozen times. I keep forgetting Brendan Gleeson's in it, and he's one of my favorite actors ever since 28 Days Later. He's so good in everything he does. And he's perfect as Knuckles with a K, as the prison chef that Paddington befriends. No spoilers. And Hugh Grant is so good as the villain. I think a number of people have said it that Paddington 2 essentially saved Hugh Grant's career. Perez debris. I should use a slightly thicker marker. Yeah, for just up close here, the rocks underneath the monster. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to do. I indicated the other rocks that are always in the background here, but I figure apart from this one panel, the background's always there every panel. I think I might just leave the valley rendered this time around, and then let the power lines and or speed lines, I should say, or direction lines, do the work, and just leave the page a little, this panel a little emptier. And also get rid of a little bit of black ink. Let me grab a slightly thicker marker, maybe a 3 or something. That was a 0.02. Holy shit! I think I'm done. I mean, there's going to be corrections I'm going to do after I let the work sit for a bit. Oh my god, we're not even at 8. Did I ink this entire page in 25 minutes? I mean, that took about an hour at the ink. This is the thing when I talk about like finding things to fix. Even though I don't need it. That was fine, but there I am fixing it anyway. I might add a few more rocks and stuff. Not sure. Well, a lot of times what I do is when I think a page is done, I'll leave it, and then I'll take another look at it just before I color it. So I scan it and look at it print size, and that's when the mistakes really jump out if you miss something. That's a little bit better. Just to break up that line work a bit. All right, Jesus. I really thought this would take me at least another half hour. It's kind of weird. I like it. I like when I'm suddenly faster than I thought I was. The guy who won the Hellboy drawing I did a few weeks ago never responded to my replying to his message saying that he won. So I'm going to give him another week. There's no way. I actually checked out his YouTube page because he has an account. No contact information there. So kind of out of luck in terms of like how to get him to respond. I think I just have to wait for him to stumble into my stream again. You know, I think and behind here I got second coming pencils I'm working on. Or sorry, the Toxic Avenger Jesus Christ crossover. This is so weird. I like going to like at least 8, and we got 10 minutes, so I think I'll fill the time. Yeah, I'm gonna go a lot darker here. That can go solid black. That can go solid black. Yeah, I just don't like that noise I put in here. Honestly, a little raggedness around here, I kind of like the effect. Huh. All right. So what we're looking at is next week, I'm probably going to work on the Dancers at the End of Time piece, assuming that I finish the 3rd book in the collection. And the idea is, I already had an idea that ends and kind of suggested. So I think I got a go-to idea anyway. I just have to double check the descriptions of the other characters I want in the sequence. So next week, very likely, Moorcock's Dancers at the End of Time with the variation of Jerry Cornelius. After that, I have a Comic Art Fans online event coming up this spring, summer, and they want me to do a whole bunch of Marvel pieces. And since I'm not currently working for Marvel, I'm going to have to like just do fun upfront commissions of like Marvel characters, like, you know, these standards: Wolverine, Phoenix, Daredevil, you know, all the usual guys. Oh my god, yeah. Over rendering is clearly something I struggle with, which is why I have so much white paint in my, excuse me, studio. Yeah. Break this up here a bit. Yeah, every time when you start getting like too much, just white paint it out. And if you erase too much, then that's why you still got pens. You can go back and draw more stuff in after. You know what? I think after hanging out with Captain America for that long, I don't think Tony Stark would put up with either Elon Musk or Trump. Tony Stark is so convinced, especially the movie version, which I'm more familiar with these days. He's so convinced he has to be right all the time. I don't think he'd tolerate idiots like Trump or the oligarchy. He'd probably end it. Fantasy. Yeah, but Iron Man would be fun to draw. I drew him a little while ago for a Hero Initiative auction thing. So I wouldn't mind drawing Iron Man again. Maybe a retro Iron Man, like one of the earlier suits. Yeah, so next week, most likely Dance at the End of Time, followed by at least 3-4 weeks of Marvel characters. I'll probably, pick on the most popular ones I can. Daredevil's in the series right now, so that's good. Punisher's in it. That might be smart. I don't know if there's fans for them to that degree, because I got a Punisher painting I'm really happy with on my site. It's been there forever, and no one wants it. So I think maybe my fan base doesn't overlap with the Punisher fan base, which is not a terrible thing. Yeah, next week, if I decide to do more of the background or anything else with this, I'll show it as well. All right. So during the week, you can find me on Instagram. My relationship with Meta is going to diminish over time because they clearly don't want artists participating on their platform. So Bluesky would be the primary place to find me. I'm on Cara as well, but I find that Cara's kind of run out of steam. Why is this? Oh, focus. Focus. The camera's not focusing. What is? Exactly, Dwight. All right, everybody. You have a great night. Again, you can find me on Instagram for now, Bluesky, which is my preferably the platform of the future. You can subscribe to my $1 a month Patreon, or it's also free, of course, but you don't see anything. Or there's still one slot left open. There is a $35 a month, but at the end of the year, you get my 11x17 cover quality commission. So there are currently 5 of those slots available on my site. Sorry, there are 5 slots on my site. 4 of them are taken, so there's 1 available. So if anyone is interested in that, it's there. It's Richard Pace on Patreon. You guys have a great week. Thank you for hanging out. Why is this still blurry? Why is my camera not autofocusing? That's better. All right. Okay. Everyone have a great night. I will see you in a week. Have a great time, people. Stay safe.